Margaret Carhirlick, and thank you, Minister, for your response. And we do appreciate you're not opposing the bill, but we, again, are interested in what that actually means, because many pieces of legislation are put forward in these houses, and the government says they're not opposing them, but that cannot be a passive act. We have to work with opposition to bring this to fruition. I'm glad to see David Joyce has joined here today from ICTU to witness the debate, and I want to pay tribute to Party Leader Ivana Bacik and to my colleague Jed Nash in bringing forward this piece of legislation. Minister, we constantly impress on you, and we're going to keep repeating it about the epidemic of low pay that exists in Ireland. And when we use language such as living wage, the whole point of a living wage is so that somebody can live. That's the whole point. And it is spirit-crushing to work a long week and not to have enough money to live. And there's a big difference in your mentality and in your spirit between being broke and being poor. Broke means it's an inconvenience for a period of time. There's something that you possibly can't buy, but you know that there's an expectation that it won't last that long. But being poor is very different. It is spirit-crushing, and if you're a child and you begin to feel it from your parents or from your parent or from the person in your household who is bringing back that low pay, well, then that sense of being poor sucks itself into the marrow of your bone and lasts a lifetime. You can't shake it. You don't shake it, and then you pass it on to your own children. And that is what we're talking about here when we use phrases like living wage. It's about the ability to live without that spirit-crushing sense of poverty or being poor. 23% of Irish workers are in low pay. 23%. I didn't believe it until a number of years ago. My colleague Jed Nash told me of this figure. And that when it comes to low pay in Ireland, we are the third highest in the OECD in terms of the proportion of Irish workers who are in low pay. And 40% of workers under 30 actually are also in insecure work. But let's get back to low pay for a second and its impact on a family. Its impact on a family. And not only that, Minister, but there are things in Irish society that you are expected to pay for that you aren't expected to pay for in other European countries, such as GP care, such as school books, such as other basic provisions that normally the state would provide. So in Ireland it has an even bigger effect. Now, I listened to recently at the Enterprise Committee about the suggestion of bringing forward legislation on sick pay. And it was remarkable to me to hear all the government response, and indeed those from members of the opposition, about the position of the employer. And we appreciate that. But we have to, again, get our mindset and to change everything that we do to ensure that that child does not feel that sense of being poor the rest of their lives and pass it on to the next generation. And that is the game here. It's having an entitlement to pay that lifts you up to have an ability to live. Now, we have testimonies that have been sent in from around the country, Minister, on how low pay affects young people. As my colleague Jed Nash has already said, in terms of your government's decision to continue the low rate of VAT until February 2023. Absolutely welcome for the hospitality industry. But people working in the hospitality industry are 3 times more likely to be on the minimum wage. Where is the deal? Where is the demand from government to this industry that's paying its workers so poorly that as a result of getting this VAT cut, that they're going to pay their workers a decent wage, a wage that allows them to live? So again, Minister, we impress on you. The language is so important here, because we're not just dealing in terms of minimums, we're dealing in terms of the capacity to live, and we're also dealing in terms of that child who cannot feel the weight of the sense of being poor.